that's why I really recommend all of you guys to do a monthly results meeting. Hey, how's it going, guys? Dan Kitajima here with another episode of How to Grow Your Insurance Agency. And today I want to share with you guys how I plan for my monthly sales results meeting. So, do you do your monthly sales results meeting? I'll go over the motive and what I'm trying to do here with these monthly results meetings. So the first thing I try to do is, I try to motivate them. So staff members, their motivation level is really going to determine how well we do as an agency. So I want them to believe in themselves. I want them to understand the opportunities, the great opportunities we have in this insurance business. So that's one of the main things I'm trying to do. Okay, number two, what I'm trying to do here is recognize them. Okay, because I truly appreciate my staff members for what they do. If they're high performers, if they have some great numbers for us to share, then I really want to recognize them. And I think it goes a long ways when, especially if they're competitive, for them to understand where they rank, and that I want to see that I understand what they're doing for us, and then recognizing them as winners. I think it's a great opportunity for us to do that each and every single month. And number three, I want them to understand the big picture. Because maybe as staff members, you're coming to work, you take care of the customer service, or you have some other tasks, or you're trying to get your sales and you're just worried about your own numbers. But this is a great opportunity for us to understand how we're doing as a whole office, which direction we're headed, if we're had a bad month or a good month. So understand the big picture, letting them understand, see things from my perspective as an agency owner. So we're going to get them on the same team and motivated to understand what we're trying to do here, where we're headed, and how we can do this together. All right, so just a little bit of backstory before we get started here. Growing up, I was one of the shyest kids you could ever imagine. In class, I was always in the back of this class. There's been some, classes where I literally didn't say a single word during the whole semester. So I was a really shy kid. Being a kid from immigrant parents who were, maybe, English wasn't their first language. So growing up, I was really shy, and I really didn't, picture myself getting in front of people and talking. I think it was a big fear of mine. In college, public speaking was a general education course, so we all had to take it. But I put it off so long that it was literally the last class I took. And I won't share with you guys how many years it took me to finish college, but I was pretty much a super senior. When I finally took that class, I remember being in there with a bunch of freshmen, and some people maybe were in high school. So I felt really old being in that class, but just to share with you guys, I really didn't like public speaking. But the reason I do it now is because I feel like it's my obligation, to try to help out my employees. I know how much of an impact it makes when you're able to persuade somebody, make influence on them. So not because I really want to do this, but out of necessity, I feel as a leader, this is something that one of the skills that I had to develop. So I started doing it a couple years ago, and hopefully I feel like I'm getting a little bit better at it, but it is definitely making a difference in our agency. So that's why I really recommend all of you guys to do a monthly results meeting. If you have a little bit of staff members, then it doesn't even have to be you getting in front of them. It could be you guys sitting together. If it's just two employees, you guys could be just sitting here in the conference table, just having a little chat and having, going over numbers and game planning together and sharing their thoughts. I think is a great opportunity to do that at least once a month. So when I plan for the monthly sales results meeting, I break it down into 3 parts. So the first part is an intro. So for the intro part, I just go over the final results, how much we sold as a team, how that compares to an average month for us, how that compares over the same period of time last year, and just giving us an overall breakdown of how we did as a team. The second thing I go over is I go over the winners. So again, this is my chance to recognize our top performers. Some of the categories that I like to mention is who took the most payments, who worked the most hours, basically attendance, phone calls and hours, how many hours you're on the phone, how many calls you made. So these are a lot of different categories you could recognize your staff members for, because they really, some of them really work hard, and you can see some trajectory, see how they're doing, and I like to share these numbers with them. I also definitely recognize agents who had their best month ever sales wise, so that's always fun to understand which agents really stepped it up last month. Then I also go over third, second, and first place finishers too, because those are our top agents. So I have trophies for them. I want to pass it out to them. I want to make them feel really appreciated, because That's really the least we could do is appreciate and then recognize them for their hard work. I also do talk about in the intro, sometimes, you know, if you had a bad month, then again, it helps them understand the big picture. I talk about if you had a great month, bad month. I like to be really transparent. Also, I don't mind sharing some of our compensation too. You know, how much somebody made in commission, how much somebody made during the bonus period. Sometimes I even break it down to how much they made per hour. Just being transparent with them because, you know, let's face it, the financials do matter at a workplace. So that will maybe motivate somebody else who wants to, you know, earn higher income here. They'll understand how much somebody made. They'll get fired up, and then it's just something that I like to be transparent about with my team. And then the last part is the conclusion. So this is the part where I'm just basically trying to motivate them. You know, I like to think about what I'm going to finish with first. This is a tip I heard from another public speaker I found on YouTube. But, you know, trying to figure out what I'm going to finish with helps me lead to that direction. So that way you don't have to memorize everything in a save. I also like to get them really engaged by asking a lot of questions to them because, again, it's maybe a little bit awkward, at least for me, to just stand here and just talk to them without getting them engaged. So asking them questions, getting them, you know, engaged, I think is a great thing to do. And really the conclusion, what I'll tell you guys is that, you know, during the month, the previous month before the sales, I'm always thinking about what I'm going to talk about. So when it comes to how do I prepare, I almost don't even, I do set aside some time to really plan, but during the whole month prior, I'm reading books, you know, I'm watching other YouTube videos. So some of these things I come up with, they definitely, I should give credit to some of the people. They're not 100% original. Sometimes they are, but I get a lot of these great inspiration or ideas about motivation and how we could improve, you know, what we're doing here from consuming other content. So during the whole month, maybe I'll just come across something, I'll read something, I say, hey, maybe I want to share this with my team. So I'm constantly trying to think about what I want to share with my team because I don't want to have a meeting here all the time. I feel like I should, but you know, we have sales agents there. They don't want to be pulled out into meetings all the time, but for the big monthly sales meetings, that's some big ones. So I get everybody in here and I want to talk about something that is going to bring value to them. I don't want them to have to sit here and waste their time when they could be on the phones making commission. So I want to make sure I bring value. So I'm thinking very hard about the conclusion part. And then the intro part and the winners part, that actually requires me to understand that the month ended. So that's the part I do after the month ends. So these meetings, I usually do them around like the 3rd or between the 3rd to the 6th because first of the month I don't have these numbers ready yet, so it's very difficult for me to do it on the 1st or the 2nd. So I'll pick like a Thursday or a Friday, and then you know, generally around the 3rd, between the 3rd to the 7th of the month. That way I have these stats ready. So I figure out the conclusion first, get that part out of the way. Then I, you know, count out the numbers, get the stats ready, and work on number 1 and number 2. So yeah, lastly, I just want to end with, you know, definitely do them. These meetings really help. I can tell my staff does look forward to them. And, you know, our job, our obligation to our staff members is to motivate them, lead them, train them. So I think it's just look at it as a duty of ours to be able to, you know, get up there in front of your team, persuade them, influence them, because it does make a big difference to our team. And then if a shy Asian kid with immigrant parents could do it, I'm sure you can too. So until next time, let's stay hungry and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for watching. Let's get it.